Hello, hello. It's that time, and I don't have my rings on. Oh, here's one. There we go. Okay, let's look in, tap in, peer in to the energy realms and see what messages are for us today. What do we need to know to move forward, or just to think about, to consider, to enrich ourselves, our minds, our thoughts, our everyday happenings? Let's start. Blueprint. Okay, let's blueprint it again. Blueprint was yesterday's reading or yesterday's card. So it's about coming back to the original you, the factory settings. Factory settings being that of love. Okay. And let's ask the runes. I guess Spirit wants us to take another look at this blueprinting thing, right? Like, as how we're raised, the environment we're raised in, the people we're raised by, the society we're raised in, the environment, all of the above, right? It all affects our programming. It's a type of programming. It's how we learn, right? We learn by watching, we learn by conditioning. And there are a lot of bugs and viruses and things that we pick up that, okay, maybe they're not. They're also alternative applications, right? That no longer serve us. They may have served us for a while. It's like spyware or apps, when your device is like, you have these unused apps that are taking up energy. What would you like to do with them? Right? It's about going back through, unlearning the things, taking away, deleting, sorting out, dusting, rewriting um, the system back to love. Right? Those conditions, conditioned to be a people pleaser, to push your own needs aside, um, to be less than, to be unworthy. Right? There's so much conditioning and programming that we see everywhere around us. Um, Part of doing this work and recentering, rebalancing, and going back to your original blueprint involves going within and deleting. Okay. And your connection with your higher self and your intuition is the thing that directs you, encourages you, shows you what needs to be let go of, what needs to be deleted. Right? Sometimes in the process, you might be like, oh, this app, I forgot all about this. And then, oh, I'm going to go back in, check it out. Oh, now I'm looking at it from a different perspective because I don't have these other programs that are stalling out my situation or apps. Sorry, too many metaphors going on in there. Okay, let's get a rune to support this blueprint reading so far today. Diggaz. Okay, we've got the butterfly looking like it's ready to fly, but not quite yet leaving the branch where it birthed from its chrysalis. That's not one. Degas. Breakthrough, awakening, light, enlightenment, balance point, and transformation. Change is dynamic and dramatic. Who could imagine the stunning butterfly would spring from the little caterpillar? As the delicate butterfly unfurls their new wings, a new day dawns, and they are granted a new and higher awareness than they could have previously ever imagined. Below, their cocoon hangs in the place where before and after meet. Degas has a beautiful, brilliant, light-filled energy. It represents the awakening and clarity that daylight brings. When this rune appears, there is hope and happiness, bold change, and a new beginning. It is a good time to start something new. Degas refers to a daily cycle, in contrast to longer, gentler time periods like Jera's year cycle. Degas also speaks of balancing opposite forces, such as light and dark, mental and emotional, masculine and feminine, and doubt and certainty. Okay, the balancing and the point of takeoff, right? This butterfly is ready to embark on its adventures, on its new life, right? It lived its first part of its life as a caterpillar. It went through the chrysalis stage, transformation and release, emerged renewed, and it allowed itself the acclimation period, right? Where the wings unfurl. There's always this period where it sits and it waits and it's regenerating. It's pulling in its power, its reserves. It's deleting all the old things on the computer that is stalling up jamming your system. And with this new energy, now things can move fast, fresh. It's like the wind. It's going to carry it away. Okay, that's a lot of cards. Let's just get them all out here. We got those ones. Holy moly. Okay, that might be too many. Okay, those ones, those ones. We've got what? These ones? Okay. Like this, like that, like this, and like that. Okie dokie. There we go. Holy, I think that might be the maximum amount here. Okay, let's look at these two. So we've got transformation and a sense of guardedness around your transformation. Okay, butterfly confirmation. And this doubling up, Two of Cups, overflowing. This is union. This is balance. This is a beautiful thing. Okay, we'll see what the other cards support here. We've got going within, balancing, grounding, sorry, not balancing, grounding, centering, connection with the earth and the sky here, right? And your intuition. Yeah, intuition. And then we've got the bloomage blossoming all around here, okay? And this is the faith in the things you have planted um, germinating, okay? And there's this very subtle, sorry, I can't get it to focus. But there's this invisible, like barely visible, kind of like a helping, it's like a guiding, I feel like it's the universe here, and it's supporting you and the things that you are manifesting and its happenings in behind the scene. Okay, so think of like a seed planted in the earth. You're trusting that it's doing what it needs to do while it's in there, even though you can't see it, right? And then we've got this King of Cups and the balancing of the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual realms while being grounded. Okay. So a lot of grounding and meditation, faith, trust. And the King of Cups represents being in a state of creativity, compassion, capable, courageous, heart centered. Okay. This is a emotionally available king. He holds his own overflowing cup and is ready to share. Okay. And we've got the thoughts, the minds, the thoughts, the things. So this is kind of twofold. This is like um, inspiration, creativity, all of the things, right? All of the ideas and just the thoughts that spring forth from the mind. But it's also like a little bit of sorting. Like not all thoughts are erect here, right? Not all thoughts are worthy of holding, right? Like even though there's all these ideas and then these ones are like not so good, so we'll just leave them. And this figure here is holding this one or two, right? And that's what they're focusing on. So it's kind of like an awareness, I guess, of your thoughts and a leaping, a, leap of faith, taking one of the thoughts. This could be divine inspiration, right? An idea and running with it. Okay. So we've got dedication. This one makes me think of a samurai. And I guess to be true to form, the fives for me are the halfway point. So depending on the supporting cards around it, it's either heading to six or heading to four, right? And this card has always represented like it gives me samurai vibes big time. And so there's like a certain level of dedication and a steady, focused trajectory, right? We've got this one sword that's just like in line here, and then we have these ones kind of veering off. So remain, but they are focused on this one. So it's like it's a dedication of focus. Okay, and then the Hierophant has several meanings. So it's being in a place of authority or a certain level of expertise. Like I feel like this Hierophant, this window here is kind of like the third eye, and the Hierophant is seeing through the third eye, and it's also like a kaleidoscope, like a tapestry. So there's like this idea of a collective experience, um, where you take all the little bits and pieces and you put it up on your let's figure this out board, and you're able to see big pictures, right? Which is where the experience and stuff like that comes from. This also, because you are experienced, this also lends to being a teacher, right? A master of something. You have, excuse me, the ability to share what you know. And um, it also, I guess more traditionally, represents some sort of contract, like a binding, lifelong partnership contract, right? This could be a lifelong dedication to your growth. This could be a contract that you sign with your dream career. This could be like a lifelong love relationship, like the love of your life kind of till death do us part. Okay, let's check out the other cards here. So we've got, this one is the coming out of your comfort zone card for me. We've got this like armored, right? We've got all these swords creating this wall here. Nothing's coming through that because, so it's like an armored protective area. But this figure here has created this doorway, removed some of them. And so it's like a controlled coming out, right? And this could represent, and there's also this giant moon in behind. So it's like um, moving more towards your intuition, letting your intuition be what brings you out of your safe spaces. And then the star card here, this is you, the star, shining. Yep. Sorry. Okay. I got distracted. Okay. We've got the devil here and the 5 of Cups. This is my consolidating card because we've got 5 cups here and this figure who's stepping into this pool. It's like a pool of enlightenment or something, right? And it's like, it's either adding these 2 cups or it's taking them away, right? And it's almost like because these cups haven't quite fully formed their base, it's like taking them away so that the energy can flow into these ones that are more solid. Okay, and then the devils. If you look at the devils, there's like a balancing. It's uncertain whether or not these two are connected, right, based on the shadows, but they're also chained. Okay, and so the devils can represent like your own doubts and fears, the thoughts that hold you back, um, your shadow aspects, right? Those versions of you that pipe up in your mind and tell you that you're not worth it, you're not worthy, you can't do the thing, all of the above. And it's kind of it's something kind of shadowing your stardom here. So I'm getting like when putting yourself out there, right? There could be some fears around that, around being seen. We'll see what else is there. Okay. Ooh, we got the High Priestess and the Empress over here. Okay, so the High Priestess is your intuition. And so this is doubts and fears. This is your blocks. Okay, when you're a star, stars are suns, right? And there's no shadows on the sun. But the minute I said that, I just like was shown in my mind when you see those images or videos or whatever of solar flares happening, and there's all these shadows that are actually moving in and around on the surface of the sun. And so this is more like a balance I'm getting here between your light and your shadow. Because to be whole, we need to integrate our shadow aspects, right? This is like shining light on those versions of self, those mindsets, those tendencies. This is being aware of what you are capable of in the worst degree and then becoming conscious and choosing the light, right? And this is why these shadowy figures, these devils, are in chains, because once you've integrated them, once you've recognized them, they're no longer sneaking around in the dark, wreaking havoc on your life, right? They are now working for you. They only move when you tell them to move. And your shadow aspect, it's we're both the creator and the destroyer, right? And that's why you need your shadow. Like even Santa had Krampus, right? Like back in the day when it was a little bit more balanced. God has the devil, right? It's the light and the shadow. And we've been programmed to believe that these are two separate things and you have to choose one or the other. But the reality is, um, it's a duality. It's a dichotomy. It's a two sides of the same coin. And this is why people who try to choose one or the other and they deny one or the other, they're imbalanced and there's chaos because of the imbalance, right? This is about integration and balancing of those things. Okay, and the Empress. So yeah, so back to High Priestess. This is about being connected to your intuition. The High Priestess knows, feels, sees, and is definitely, it's dark here. The moon is out, right? She is the feminine aspect and definitely balanced in her shadow and light. Okay. And then the Empress here is holding the frequency of love. She's in a state of receiving mode. Okay. And this is the feminine aspects, or these are the feminine aspects: the intuitive, feeling, knowing, sensing, and the radiating, attracting beingness. Okay. So having her over these two here is coming out We're going to need some more supporting cards here. Let's see what comes about here. Yeah, the light and the dark, right? Like the creator and the destroyer. I always go to the garden because it's my favorite metaphor. But you have to be discerning on what you pull and what you plant, right? And you need your shadow aspect, like in a relationship or a business situationship or whatever, where you have to make a judgment call. You have to say no to somebody, right? That's your shadow aspect that says no. That has to be okay with them potentially being upset, but you recognizing that it's actually what's best for everybody, right? The shadows, it's not about controlling your devils so that you can, you know, rape, pillage, and murder or whatever, right? It's controlling your devils so that you're not doing those things subconsciously or otherwise, right? Suppression tends to, well, you're planting things and things grow under the surface and you can't see what's going on under there. And that's a good thing when you're planting seeds with intention, but it's not a good thing when you don't know what's going on under there, right? You don't know what's planted. You don't know. It's like I have this weird plant growing in my yard and it'll just pop up every once in a while in different places. Like maybe I can get away with being over here. And I'm like, nope. And I pull it out. Okay. So we've got this King of Pentacles and connected to the Four of Wands. So this is the balancing. Okay. This is stable. This is the four pillars here. This is also joy. This is also union, right? It's typically the twin flame because it mimics the 1111, which are the balanced masculine, feminine coming together, right? The 1111. And the King of Pentacles is someone, well, this is about being grounded, centered in your earthly realm, a master of the earth. Pentacles is earth, right? So this could be someone coming into your world with some opportunity, message. This could be a tangible sign or synchronicity that shows up in your life, but it's connected to your emotional well-being and stability here. So I'm going to put the King of Pentacles here and this over here because I really feel like this union, whether it's internally or externally with the Two of Cups, right? Two overflowing cups coming together, supersizing and tsunamiing their overflow here, connected to shining, being in light, and connecting with your intuition and grounding, grounding, grounding. I've been getting a lot of messages about grounding your energy. Okay, touch a plant, look at a plant, play with a cat, focus somehow on the now in a joyful, easy way. And that's why nature is such a perfect mirror or pool to peer into, right? Because it's just being. It just is. It's fully in the moment, right? A flower that you look at, the branches flowing in the wind, trees growing, grass, like any and all of it. Find something to focus on in nature that brings you back to now. And you can also do like mental practices where you're grounding your energy, where you're visualizing, roots coming out of the bottom of your feet and growing down into the earth and touching the earth with your bare skin is also a beautiful thing. Okay, and we've got this tower here. Tower, power. So towers come in and turn your world upside down. So there's something that could be coming that's just going to rewrite your situation. So like a tower in this butterfly analogy here, I guess would be like a gust of wind that carries the butterfly away, right? On its very first flight. Could you imagine, you've been a caterpillar your whole life. You go through this process, climb out onto your branch, your wings are unfolding, and you're like, what is happening? I feel renewed. I feel crazy. I feel weird. I feel strange. I feel different. And then all of a sudden, this big gust of wind comes up, and your wings just know exactly what to do. And now you're up in the air and you're seeing things from different perspectives. You're moving in a different way. Everything's different than what you had previously known. And it's something that you can never go back, right? After you've tasted the wind, after you've rode that current and, flapped your wings and now you're moving yourself around with the wind, like you can never go back to being a caterpillar, right? So the tower is a quick and sudden change. Towers can also be like a moment of realization or a spontaneous growth, inspiration, all of these things. Okay, and it could be linked with whatever's going on here. I don't want to put it here because it's not something you're necessarily manifesting, although you could be manifesting a change. So I'm going to put it here because when you're in a balanced state and your heart is full of love, your cup is overflowing, and you are receiving, like in a receiving mode of divine inspiration and taking leaps of faith, you know, it may cause a tower. No, I say that and I just doesn't fit there because we're taking a leap of faith here. We've got experience helping us determine in our heart what thoughts are worthy of taking a leap of faith. Is that better? Sorry, I thought I had my mic on this whole time. I guess not. I don't know if the thing was working or not. We'll just have to let it be what it is. It is what it is, as they say. Okay, I'm gonna put this tower. Where's this tower going? Where is this tower going? In what context is this tower? I think I'm just gonna put it over here. No, I think if it's gonna be anywhere, it's gonna be below the devil because I feel like even taking ownership or wrapping your brain around your own shadow aspects is going to create a tower. Yeah, I'm going to need more on the tower. I don't know where the tower goes. I rarely can't find a spot for a thing, so we'll just see. I mean, it could go right here, right smack dab in the middle. I mean, I did say something about the wind coming in as an example of a tower, right? Moving you swiftly into your new life. And it could be connected to this thing that's growing, this happening behind the scenes. And like all of a sudden, all this growth is happening under the surface of the earth. And then this plant suddenly pops up like a tower and you're like, holy, and it's like made of gold and now your life is different forever. Or it's a burning bush and now you are connected to your higher self in a way that you've never been and your mind is exploding, or like all these things. So I mean, that's the only place I can justify it being. And if this is some sort of opportunity, thought, offer, something tangible in the material realm that you are drawing in towards you, then that could cause a tower if it's going to offer stability and union of any kind. Okay, and there's the destiny card, and that one feels like it could be here or it could be here, like your destiny to create things. This could be like about manifesting too. I just got manifesting from the Ten of Wands. All these thoughts, all these things that you want to manifest, that you can manifest if you trust and have faith and remain dedicated and balanced and coming from a place of love. And you're getting to a place where and I mean, that would definitely be a tower, right? Where you're just like, oh my goodness, I can manifest whatever I want. Boom. But it's somehow linked to destiny and truth. So it could also be, speaking your truth, putting your thoughts down on paper, creating something that speaks, demonstrates, evokes a certain kind of truth for people. Okay, this is your active part in creating your own world. Okay, this person is standing at the top on a balcony overlooking, everything. They're seeing through the veil, right? They're holding this wand, which is also the philosopher stone, right? And then there's these two worlds. It's kind of like the world as it is and the world as it could be. And there's also this tapestry patchwork type thing going on, which suggests that experience, that Hierophant, utilizing what works and what doesn't, right? So I'm going to put that here because this is you consolidating your resources, your energy, coming out of your safe spaces in small doses and remaining dedicated. All these things are necessary when it comes to creating your own world, right? Okay, do we need to know anything more about the devil, the sun, and the star and the devil here? The light and the dark. What can you tell us? Now, Degas did talk about balancing the masculine and feminine. I think it was the light and the dark as well. But, you know, the masculine is the sun and the feminine is the moon, right? The light and the dark. This is why Mother Nature is both the creator and the destroyer, because she's balanced masculine and feminine within. This is why the 11-11, they mirror each other. Right? They're interchangeable. They're balanced. Okay, I guess we don't need to know anything about that. That means we hit it, I think. It's the balancing. The balancing within. What's this? Discernment. The queen of discernment, of cutting away, of transformation. Okay, this is your ability to choose, decide, and execute. Literally, when to cut away, when to remove, when to rip, when to destroy, and when to create. Okay, and because you have those things balanced, they become like paint on your palette or tools in your tool belt. Accessible for efficiency as you move, grow, shine, do what you need to do. Okay, we're going to go through one more time here. If there's anything more in this deck that we can add to this reading or confirm, then please do what you will and come out and share with us your divinity. Okay, no, fine. Let's not force it. I mean, even this reading is balanced, so that's that, right? Okay, I'm going to pull a mushroom card and see what the mushroom spirits have to add, contribute, and or confirm or clarify for us. So this is like a blueprint in itself, right? This reading is kind of showing us how we can get back or where we need to get to our baseline, our factory settings. I mean, I only say factory settings because that's like how the thing was intended, but it's kind of carrying on the computer metaphor. But it's actually, I don't actually like it because it's factory, right? It's like, feels like cookie cutter, and we all are unique. And so our blueprints are uniquely our own. And so when I say factory settings, I don't mean, although, you know, on the other hand too, we're all meant to be love, balance, creator, manifester, right? So I guess in that sense, factory, but we're also dichotomies. We're the light and the dark. So we can be both one and individual, right? This is, there you go. That's where we're factory settings, but also uniquely tailored, right? Just like we all don't have the same gifts because we're meant to contribute our unique resonance to the whole symphony. So we're one in the fact that we are one song being played, a universe, right? But we are each our own instrument. Some of us are cymbals, some of us are hi-hats, some of us are cellos, right? You get it. And so this removing old programs, maybe we were programmed to be a cymbal, but we're actually hi-hats, right? So this stripping away and returning back to your own factory settings and connecting with who you are, balancing yourself, this will help you figure out, tune in, fine-tune, hone, whatever you got to do to get back to your instrument, who you are. Okay, I'm either really getting good at shuffling or oh, here we go. We've got 18 and 19. Interesting. I was shuffling, wasn't I? Okay, 19. Death cap, endings, Amanita phalloides. Death cap is a sign of endings, whether coming or already here. Death can sometimes feel like a negative thing, but death represents new beginnings too. Letting go of that which no longer serves you can feel very painful, and it may be that something you have held onto isn't allowing you to move forward. Endings can also mean many positive things, especially if you have been working on or are trying to achieve. Nope. Especially if it means there is an end in sight for something you have been working on or are trying to achieve. This card is a blessing, but also a warning. Don't be alarmed and don't let fear or negativity in. Everything is as it should be. Know that there are greater things at work here. Don't resist what is coming. It is time to take your hands off the steering wheel and let what needs to fall away do so. Death always comes sooner or later, and resisting just delays the process. But with death comes new life. The death of something gives you the building materials to start the new. What do you need to finish or bring to an end? What are you hoping will stop? Ask yourself, what do I need to let go of to bring what I desire into my life? Make it final, and remember, RIP is rest in peace. Let go and let flow. Welcome a new start and go forth knowing it is for the greater good. Okay, and this is that grace period when the wind comes up, when the tower comes in, the wind comes up and lifts you up. This is not holding fast to the branch and being like, no, wait, I'm not ready. This is like an allowance, a releasing of the old, which is representative of the branch, the place where the cocoon and the caterpillar once was, right? And also with the tower, it's this tearing down of the old so that the new can be reborn, right? Um, and it's not like when you first built the tower, you had to go to a quarry 50 miles to the right and, source your materials from all over the place. So it took a really long time. And so you may be hesitant to allow its tear down because you're like, oh, I just don't know if I have the energy or the time or the resources to rebuild again. But what this is telling you is you need to let go of the old in order for the new. And you're not starting from scratch like you did the first time, right? You've got this experience. All the materials are still there. They're just now, lying around scattered on the ground after this teardown. And so things are going to be different. Things are going to move quicker. And it's linked to your solid foundation in the material realm here. And so release, release, release. Get yourself accustomed to this process because it is part of the creation and the destruction, the light and the shadow, right? And to be in balanced, you need to honor and hold as worthy the destruction of the old just as much as the creation of the new. Okay, and then we have blue pink gill rarity etolomo, no, entoloma ha territory. Okay. Being a rarity doesn't necessarily mean that people fail to notice you. In fact, it can be quite the opposite. As seen in the blue pink gill, standing out can be beautiful when you look different from everything around you. Everyone serves a purpose, even if you don't understand what it is yet. Your purpose may be big, it may be small, but size doesn't equate to bigger and better. The simple act of seeing the beauty in what is in front of you has an effect on the larger scale. Do you know what your purpose is? Do you see the beauty in your rarity? For there are incredibly complex pieces that make up your whole. Rarity is beautiful, and rarity is not always unique. There will always be others just like you, so you can still find your tribe. But by being rare, you deter what you don't want finding you. You stand untouched by those who want normally, oh my goodness. You stand untouched by those who would normally try to take you down. You go unnoticed to some, but noticed to others. Blue was always a hard color to come by in olden days, and therefore something only royalty could obtain. What is your uniqueness, and how can you utilize it to stand out in the sea of the same? Stand tall and proud and enjoy being something special. Yeah, and it makes me go back to the symphony metaphor, and we are all contributing instruments. And, if you find out in this process that you were groomed to be a celloist, but it just doesn't, it's never resonated with you, it's something that you have to force, and you let that go and discover that you play the triangle, okay? And you're like, oh, but it's so small and insignificant in comparison to the cello, right? This giant, cumbersome thing. But the triangle is so potent in its pure and, simple form, right? Like when the triangle plays, it's usually in a moment of like exclamation or to make a point, or like all the other instruments stop for a beat to allow that triangle to chime, and it resonates out, and it's still part of the symphony. Basically, there are no small parts, was my point. Okay, so find your true sound and let it ring. And this is like controlling your shadow, right? Your shadow is the one that's going to be like, you can't be a triangle. Triangles are so tiny and insignificant. And you're like, no, if I'm a triangle, I'm meant to be a triangle. And I'm going to triangle like nobody else has triangled ever. And people are going to remember that note that I played halfway through the song, and it's going to make sense, and it's part of the whole, and yeah, it wouldn't be the same without it. Ooh, owl, yay! I was going to sleep, and I wear earplugs when I go to sleep, and I heard an owl hooting, and so I took my earplug out because I'm like, do I hear an owl? And it was a barn owl. When I looked up its hoot, because I was trying to determine if it was a barn owl or not before, I found out that this mini cards here. I don't know why my phone is rationing my video time right now. It's probably a good thing. Okay, let's take some cards and see what comes our way for us today. Okay, we got the chrysalis. So there is the emerging, coming out of state here. The sun, okay, beautiful sun confirmation, but the sun also represents abundance and brilliance and light shining gorgeousness, right? We've got the chariot, so this is fast moving, empowered by the sun. This is like the magician, and he's in a heart chariot, and we've got the balanced light and dark horses pulling it. So your balancing of your shadow and light aspects is what's propelling you forward, okay, towards your abundance. There's your magician. Okay, this is alchemy. They got the fire, earth, air, and water here coming together, making things happen. Okay, this is you setting your intentions and trusting. We've got the fool. There's the double fool confirmation. This is the trust, the leap of faith, the lucky, right? This fool has a heart, and they're going to trust that this, the wind is going to carry them. Okay, the float. This is about allowing. This is the Empress state, the open to receive, the going with the floating, right? Temperance. This is trusting the process. It's also patience. The hermit. This is the going within, but this is also this hermit here in purple, so connected to the third eye. It's got a staff with the blue gem on top, which is the throat chakra, speaking the truth. And there's the owl there. The owl is like a representation of spirit and the connection to, because the owl's sitting on the hermit's hand here, and then shining this light for all to see. So all the other hermits in the distance there can see them. And your intuition, trusting your intuition. And there's the harmony. Yes. We are part of this great symphony that is life. Beautiful. Okay. Key card, and we'll call it a day. I don't even know if the first part of this reading worked. Yeah, I just got this new microphone, and it's got this little doodad that sticks into the bottom, and it always tells me when it's connected to the microphone, but I don't know if it will revert back if the microphone's dead, or if that thing is in there and blocks it. So anyways, the beginning of this reading might be weird. We'll just have to see. And we'll roll with it either way. What's meant to be will be. Que sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, what will be, will be. Hey kitties, what's come out? Anybody? Okay, one more time. There we go. Resilience came out. Perfect. Meet Golden. He really knows how to absorb the sunshine, even after some rough patches. He has faced the lonely, hungry alleys, losing those he loved through both chance and betrayal. He allows his feelings of sadness, grief, disappointment, and failure to flow through him and pass as everything does. He is present with the fullness of life, the complete spectrum of experience. Even in the deepest, coldest night, there is a golden sun in his heart to sustain him. Trust in your resilience. Keep moving, keep accepting, and keep growing. The tide is turning. Okay, and the fact that it took so long for that card to come out, and it being absolutely the perfect sort of end note of this reading here, it's making me think of the patience. Trust the process. Maintain, just focus on your balance and your receiving mode, and your releasing and creating, and allow everything to unfold as it should, right? To appear, to move into your life, to do what it's got to do. All right. There we go for you. Yes. These are campanula or something like that. Okay. And rugosa. I wish you could smell it. Okay, those are the messages for today. Hopefully some of them landed in your garden and is sprouting in some way or another. And yeah, whatever you're doing, make it awesome. And I am grateful for you, and I hope you have fun doing whatever you're doing. Okay, love you, bye.